It's fine. Okay, now we're live. For anyone out there, today is we are Thursday, the 21st of October, 2021, and this is the first, actually, episode one, let's say, of the PhD Dojo. And I'm super happy to have with me today someone who's been on Papa PhD, Natalia Bielczyk. Welcome, Natalia. Super happy to have you here because I'm eager to learn about the news that well I've shared on the podcast already that was published today, but I really want to hear what you say about it.
Thank
So
you
there's
so
something.
much. Yeah, thank you so much, David. It's always great to see you. And thank you so much for the invitation. Yes, actually, first of all, I would like to say a little bit about the recent developments. My name is Natalia Bielczyk. I since 4 years, I'm occupied full time with helping PhD graduates find their new careers and develop new careers in industry, and also finding a new way in life often. As
Mhm.
me, actually, it was a major leap for me to jump from academia to entrepreneurship eventually,
Mhm.
but I'm happy with my choice, I have to say.
Yeah,
So I first started with writing a book on the subject, learning about the subject for 2 years. Then I wrote a book entitled "What Is Out There for Me: The Landscape of Post PhD Career Tracks," and then I started also trainings. And today, this training, actually, it was gradually growing since 2 years, and
Mhm.
today it's known as Ontology of Value Masterclass. And
Mhm.
Ontology of Value means, in principle, the nature of value,
Mhm.
because it's also in the process of developing my company and learning about the subject. I felt that the essence of becoming successful professional is to discover what is your natural way of producing value for others,
Mhm.
and because in the end, value is what is the true currency in the job market is. And we often look at, well, where can I make more money, but money is only a way of quantifying value. Sometimes it's highly suboptimal, and not necessarily the same positions that create the most value are priced the highest.
Mhm.
So it's like it's not it doesn't work like one-to-one exchange, but this is approximation. So money is only
Mhm.
approximation for the value you produce, either in direct or indirect way, to eventually other people, because all of us, in some way, we serve others, either
Yeah.
directly or indirectly. So I feel that ever since I personally discovered what my way of creating value is, my life got much easier. And I wish that for everyone, that every PhD graduate and every professional, they should at some point in their life sit down and try to figure out, okay, what is my natural attitude, what is my natural
Yeah.
role that
How they
I
are wired, etc. So I'm super happy that you mentioned that because, and actually, this is the reason. So the PhD dojo, the idea is to instead of the classical or the well, I'm saying classical. It's been just 2 years, but instead of the usual Papa PhD interviews, to bring actual. It's a dojo, so people come and learn skills, and they go back home and they can use them, break planks of wood, metaphorically, of course. That's the concept. So I think this thing of this question of introspection is a really important one. I've mentioned it before, but what I really appreciate of the work you've done with the book you've written is that it's the systematic approach that you've had to this question. So you had, like you said, this personal moment of aha. I found this is really changing how I view myself in the job market and how I present myself. And the idea is to bring the aha to other people out there. And my experience of going through the PhD is I didn't zero introspection until close to the end. And I'm conversations with trainers, with people who are in universities, confirm to me that the earlier you start this introspection, the better. And yeah, my
I,
question to you is twofold. First, um, you created a test based on your research, which is called the ontology of value test. And I'd like you to share with the audience, because there's different tests out there. What's the value of going through a test, which is I did the test, and it was really interesting to see what came out of it, and where where the test kind of said I would fit well within an organization, because I didn't suspect them, or I didn't foresee them, let's say. But why did you go through the exercise of creating a whole test for PhDs to help their introspection?
Actually, I can tell you the origin story because I think it's quite unusual. And it was 2 or 3 years ago. I was already like my PhD contract already came to the end. I was thinking of what to do next with my life, and I was sitting in a sauna. And here in the Netherlands, we have these sauna places where there's a whole complex of multiple saunas and swimming pools together, and there's usually a restaurant in at the
Hmm.
place, and everyone is sitting in like bathroom gowns in the restaurant. So you don't have the same visual cues as you normally have when you walk through the street and people are dressed in certain ways. So you can have
Hmm.
like you can make some inference based on how they look. But when everyone around you is sitting in the same like dark blue gowns, what can you tell about them? But I actually noticed that I'm quite good at guessing where they work, given like just after chit chatting for a few minutes. So
Hmm.
people in corporations and entrepreneurs and people in public institutions, they had such a different mindset that I could have a good guess after like 5 minutes of a conversation. So I thought to myself, there must be a way. There must be some scientifically like informed way of automatizing this.
Hmm.
I started like thinking about what can I potentially ask to best pick up on the differences in mentality between people working in different working environments. And then it took me another 2 years to develop this tool. And it's indeed I studied psychometrics when I was undergrad in psychology, so it was a long, long time ago. But
Okay.
one thing I really wanted this test to be different at was the way of asking questions. So not only the results are supposed to be useful for you, but like the questions are also supposed to be challenging. So in this test, there are no neutral answers. So,
Hmm.
because in many other tests, there is a Likert scale, which means that you have to rate yourself on certain scale, for instance, from 1 to 7. So are you patient? Well, 1 means absolutely yes, 7 means not at all. You have to give yourself a grade. And in this test, you have 4 possible answers in every question. For instance, what does money mean to you? Is this just
Hmm.
evil? Is this a way of measuring value, but in fact often misused? Is it an valuable asset that is good to accumulate, or is it a game? So is what is it for you? And every single question challenges you to make choices, and you cannot stand on the side. You cannot be neutral. You have to choose something. So what I often hear from participants is that they were challenged, and actually before they even got the results, they already felt they gained a lot from the test, because they had to ask themselves a lot of questions that they never asked themselves before. So that's one thing. But the results are also done in a way that is like maximally uh, like has a maximum utility. So it's not only that you get yeah, I'm a mathematician, I'm sorry. So it's not only that you get a list of your top working environments and top ways of creating value for others, so you have these two rankings, but you also get quantitative results that tell you where you score in a population. So if you're, for instance, more entrepreneurial than 72% of people, or more corporate than 90% of people, like you will have quantitative results from comparing you to the reference population that we have in the study, which means
Hmm.
that you can discover your competitive advantage. You can see it's a bit of a cheat sheet that shows you where your competitive advantage is, so where you will have easier way than most people in the job market. So that's
Hmm.
something I was missing in other tests. And I also wanted to know for myself. And I also did the test as a participant after it was already released. And I agree with the results, I have to say. And yeah, so I'm quite bullish on it right now, ever since
Well,
I did the test.
it,
Yeah.
it it was a very interesting exercise. It was challenging because some of those questions I definitely hadn't asked myself before. And yeah, the thing that's interesting is that also it doesn't just tell you one thing. It tells you, well, there's like 3 or 4 profiles that you fit in, and then there's a percentage of fit of you versus the components of the profile. Anyway, for someone who's data driven, and a lot of us having done PhDs are in a way, it's really, really interesting. Now, the thing I wanted also to talk about today is what you've created that accompanies the test. And so can you talk a little bit about that? And there's a latest, most recent creation that we'll talk in the end, that kind of makes creates a system, or not, it's not even a system, it's an experience where you do the test, and then people spend 6 weeks with you working based on that. But can you talk a little bit about the material that accompanies the test if someone registers to take it?
Of course. So if you decide to take the test, it's actually, I also wrote a whole book next to it. So you will also get 260 page of a book. It's a very like comprehensive introduction to the circulation of value in the society, and these different profiles and their strengths and weaknesses. So you can not only look at like read about yourself, like what type of profile you represent, but also look at figure out better how you can overcome certain weaknesses that come with it, because there is no better or worse way of creating value, but every profile, like I can tell for myself, I am a type of a creator, and I'm a type of an investor, and there are certain weaknesses that I have, and I had to also overcome, and I have to struggle with every day, and I know it. Work on myself. So you will have a lot of career advice with precise tips on what you can do to advance your chances in the job market, given what profile you represent. So yeah, this is a lot of information, and also about all the tribes in the job market, all these working environments. You have extensive description, how the working culture looks in those different environments. Also, how can you sneak in, and also what are the pros and cons of working in such a place. So it's a lot of information.
Yeah, and one of the things I liked is that it kind of gave me a window onto these spaces that I don't know, and given the nature of the exercise, it helped me understand if, okay, would I fit here, would I not fit here, what I wouldn't like here, where I would thrive more, and I think that's really, really interesting. If people want to take the test, there's a link that's going here below for people who are watching, which is papaphd.com/OV test. But lately, you've been working on something else. Can you talk about it?
I was also developing the masterclass. It's actually the full version is a 6-week group training, very intensive. So I always say that, and people are still always surprised how intensive it is. So I just have to underscore that it's quite intensive. And actually, today I made a little tweak in it. So you can actually go through the whole experience for 6 weeks, or you can actually stop after 4 weeks. So the first 4 weeks are the essentials that you need to learn, to discover which direction to go, and where like which door to knock at in the job market, and all the skills and all the knowledge you need to find good job offers, network well, and also go through job interviews, present yourself well, so land your first job as soon as possible. So that's first 4 weeks. And the last 2 weeks are about more general self-navigation in the job market. So all these like higher level skills that you need to self-navigate in general in the scope of the next 5, 10, 20 years. So if you are looking for a quick fix to, hey, what do I do with my life? How do I get a job? Then you can take the 4-week version. But the whole 6-week experience is more than that. So it's also about how to build a career systematically for another. It's a long-term game. So for another 10, 20, 30 years.
And you've told me before the conversation, but I want you to share, what are people getting besides just webinars with you?
Well, it's a lot. So first of all, again, it's a challenge. So there's a lot of exercise during and also group discussion and confronting opinions during the course. But I also personally spend time on every participant. So I help drafting the documents. I help drafting a resume. I help also train for job interviews. And with every participant, I have an individual session after the course. So we check what the progress is and where they are and how I can help them at that point. And of course, if I have any valuable contacts that, given their situation, might be helpful, I always share. So I spend a lot of attention on every participant separately. And of course, since it's a group training, then of course also they help each other, and it's always like an interesting combination of interesting personalities. And I can tell that participants are always very motivated and give their best because questions and tasks are quite challenging often. So I can see that effort, and that also makes me very happy because I always do it in the evenings and until like 10 p.m. or so. And but I can feel that energy coming to me. So after that, I'm really pumped, and yeah, I cannot fall asleep. You know, I just I really.
You're energized. I can confirm that these types of experiences, especially if it's 4 to 6 weeks, you can there's kind of connections, almost friendships that get developed. But the great thing is that the effect of kind of the hive mind, of having all those brains around the same, thinking about the same issue in their different ways, and that's really enriching in my experience. And I think people who will take the masterclass for PhDs will also, there's also going to be an element like that. Now, this was really just a quick conversation to talk about the ontology of value. You are offering something special to the Popup PhD listeners. Can you just say what it is, just before we let people go back to their lunch, because this is it's now 12:46 here in Montreal.
Right. Yes, of course. If you're a viewer, if you're a follower of Papa PhD, then of course you're most welcome to join us. And if you subscribe through the Papa PhD website, then I will know that you came from David's channels. So you will be given one extra test that you can give to, because like all the participants of the training get access to the test, but you will get an extra access that you can give as a gift to your family member or a friend. So you will get that extra gift only on this occasion. So that's a little incentive maybe to take a look. And regardless, I want to tell you that the message is like it really depends like where we fit in the job market. It depends to a large extent on our mentality and natural. So the whole point of what I do is I try to teach people to find their natural way of creating value and the environment where they naturally fit. Because the worst you can do is to try to force through the wall and find yourself in a place where you feel that you don't fit, but you do nothing about it because you just don't know where to go otherwise. So you know something is wrong. You waste the best years of your life feeling that something is missing, but you just don't know what is wrong. And I had that in my grad school. I felt I didn't really fit as well. Like, and there was something more than just academia. I felt like this is just not my tribe. There's nothing wrong about this tribe, but it's just not me. And it took me many years that if I took this test 10 years ago, I would be in a different place right now. And that's exactly what I want to achieve. I want to make you not lose your life doing things you shouldn't be doing and being in a place where you shouldn't be. And regardless, if you ever meet me, please think about it. Talk to people more. Try to understand their motivations. Try to interact with people from different environments and try to figure out where you fit best, whom you share a sense of humor with. You know, that's always a good indicator. So like I laugh at David's jokes, so I can tell we are very alike. And so yeah, this is the message. Like think about that, because that will tell you a lot about where you should eventually steer yourself towards.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think introspection is very important. One thing that I wasn't expecting was that the test would make me think about my values, my core values, and it was interesting to feel that challenged and to have to reflect upon that. But definitely, uh, Natalia has been on the show. I've seen her, evolve and publish books and create trainings, and that's why I'm recommending it. That's why, like for the first time on Papa PhD, I'm considering Natalia and Ontology of Value to be kind of a sponsor of the show. You didn't mention the date of the next cohort that's starting. If at the end, just before we finish, or maybe now you can share it.
Yes, the next cohort starts in exactly 2 weeks. It's 4th of November. So
All
this
right.
is the last cohort this year. And the next one will be starting just after Christmas time on 6th January.
Perfect,
So,
perfect. So my point was, if you found this interesting, but are intrigued, reach out to Natalia. She's on LinkedIn. She responds. She's also a busy person, but she responds and she will answer all your questions. And in any case, we're at the dojo. Natalia today is kind of a guest sensei here at the dojo, but you can also so there's also a point depending on if you're interested or not on going on this adventure with her. Introspection is very important. Figuring out where your tribe is going to help you a lot. So anything that's around you, maybe offered at your university, that can help you paint that picture for you, is going to help you a lot. And that's kind of the final message that I would like to leave here today on the dojo. So Natalia, thank you so much for creating these tools for PhDs, because these are challenging questions and challenging exercises. And so yeah, I wanted to thank you. Thanks for having come here on the show. And yeah, I'm eager now to hear the feedback of what's going to happen once this launches.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, David, for the invitation. And for all of you guys, good luck with your career development. It's hard, but the reward you can get is amazing. This satisfaction from getting on the right track is what I wish you all. So take care, good luck, and if you need any help from me, let me know.
Perfect. So I will be ending the broadcast. You can stay on. And I'm just going to end the broadcast. Thanks everyone who watched. I hope you appreciated this, or if you're watching later on, and yeah, think of your values. Think of what value you can bring to any organization you're working in, be it research or not, and that will help you a lot in figuring your next professional steps. So bye everyone. Thanks for having listened or watched, and see you at the next PhD Dojo.
Thank you so much.